Okay, we are recording right now this English meeting between Alice and I. So first of all, I'd like to say hello for everyone who are watching us here on the YouTube channel. And let's see what we can learn together. And today, Alice and I was discussing some general things, general topics about our own lives, just to see if our English have enough vocabulary to talk about our own business, our own life. So, Alice, as I was talking with you before we started recording here, I shared some information with you that I'm a business trip here. I'm traveling for another city, which is 500 kilometers from my own city, my host city. So I came here because I have some process to follow, some procedures to set here with some workers on this area. So I have been here to just to watch some. There will be it will be a process to CIPA, a CIPA, which we call here Brazil. It's a group of people from the company who are selected and voted from the employers at that company to get more training about safety topics, about safety works, and they can help the occupational safety technician on our daily life, on our daily workers. So, which means from right now, I will get more people to help me because they are just workers who are doing their own stuffs on their jobs, they are doing their own activities and daily situations, but meanwhile, they are ability or they are trained to help you to keep the workplace safety or keep the activities more security, more safely. So that is something I don't know how can explain it in English yet. That's maybe it's my fault because I should know how can explain this, but it is something like that. I just came here to follow this procedure because tomorrow it will be elections day because we must elect some at least two people from this company which will receive a training about occupational safety technicians, and they will help us to improve our workplaces in the matter of safety workers. And let me ask another question here. I have been before we starting our this English session today. I was reading some articles related to technology. I know that you are not mom yet. You have no child yet. You have no kids, but I
Yeah.
know you have been planning in the future to have your own kids, to have your sons, and things like that. Maybe you are planning this with your husband. So that's why I choose this topic to talk here, to discuss here with you. And I'd like to know, first of all, before I share this screen with you, I'd like to know, what do you think about technology? The impact of technology have been given or have been feeling from our children, from the kids, because we are living the technological boom, which means we are living around cell phone, smartphone, internet, YouTube, and the little child, because I have my own experience because my son is 7 years old right now, seven, and my daughter has 12 years old, is 12 years old, sorry, not has, just is 12 years old. And they like it so much. They are crazy about their cell phones. They are crazy about the playing games on cell phones, playing and watching videos on the YouTube. They like it, do it so much. They like so much that I decided to set up their smartphones to just allow them use it just for 1 hour a day. Just 1 hour a day, they can use their smartphones, their cell phones to play, to watch videos, and after that, I will block their smartphone because I don't believe it's so enjoyable for them, for their childhood, stay or spend all day long on their smartphones. What do you think about that? Do you get what I want to mean here?
Oh yes, I can get your point. And let me talk about my own opinion. Although I don't have a child and I am not going to have a child in a short time, so I don't have many ideas about educating a child. But I can talk about something about the technology. Uh, I think during the past few decades, the technology has been uh, improving very rapidly. For example, when I was a child, before I was 10 years old, there was let me think, it was 1990s. There was no cell phones, and at that time, uh, hardly our families had TV in my country because the economy was not good at that time. And and but at that time we had a CD player. And I think this kind of things, people were really addicted to this kind of things. And when I was quite young, I was addicted to the CD players because I could watch cartoons. I could watch cartoons on these CD players, and my mom also set a limitation on this. She only allowed me to watch the player for half an hour every day, because if she didn't set this limitation, I will spend all my day watch this. And I think what what you are doing is right, because it's very hard for children to control themselves. So for parents, they should set some limitations. And I am growing up. The technology has been growing up at the same time. And when I was before I went to the primary school, we had TV in our home. And when I was in primary school, we had we had the computer at our home. And and when I was in middle school, we had cell phones, which was not as smart as the cell phone we have today. And when when I was in college, I had my first cell phone, which is uh, which is as smart as we have today. I don't know how to describe. Before I joined college, the cell phone and the can touch. We can touch the screen, but now we can touch the screen, and that's the difference. Um, so I think we are for our generation, we are enjoying the best technology. It's very good. But I think this is technology really has sides. The first side is the good side. It, it can make our life more easy. So we can, for example, we can buy things online. We we can see touch with our foreign friends who live very far away from us with our cell phone. And we can watch beautiful videos. You know, all kinds of cultures around the world. But there are also some bad sides. For instance, for teenagers, uh, they may be addicted to the computer games, and it's very bad for their eyesight. They may wear glasses, and they may be lack of exercise. Besides, they will be not good at start because they spend all day on their cell phones. And there are also some bad information on the cell phone. And sometimes teenagers don't know can't distinguish bad information from the good ones. So at this time, I think parents and teachers really should control their children using the cell phone and playing the computer game. I think it's really about their children. And the parents and the children should lead these children to do some outdoor activities, to enjoy some sports. This is another good way to prevent them from addicting to the cell phones of the laptop.
Perfectly, perfectly. I agree with you 100%. And that is exactly what I said when I set up when I my wife and I we decided to set up some times to them to play, to use their cell phone and to use the technological devices. But as you told, it's very, as you said, it's very important to set up. It's very important to put limits and to make them play outside, to make them play outdoor activities. It will be awesome. So that's why I choose this topic for speaking today. I would like to share. Let me see here. I don't know if our internet it will be good for sharing a screen, but maybe if you had some problems, if you have some problems with the internet, no worries. Let's just to try. Can you see? Just said when you just say when you are watching when you seeing my screen.
Oh yes, the impact of technology on kids. I can see this. This is the book.
Exactly, exactly. So this is a short story just to get more vocabulary, but I use it to learn too. I use it to express, just to know or to get more knowledge about the importance, the to help our kids to see the real world. We are just give them a lot of technology because sometimes the parents use would like to give their cell phones, like to give more time to the kids play because they just don't wanna be interrupted by their kids. They don't wanna give the time for their kids. So they are so busy that they decided just to give them some cell phones, give them some play, some video games. And if they do it, the children need to be interested in other things, and maybe they will not help. They will not interrupt what the parents are doing, or they will give more time to the parents to do whatever they want. Um, Let me see here. Right now, I would like to just start reading with you. So I'd like to start reading the first time, and after that, we can, or maybe if you can read it, I don't know if you can see in the right, how can I say, if you can see the letters, or it's so short, it's so smart. Can you see?
Oh yes, I can see all the letters in this article.
Okay, you'd like to read? You'd like to start reading just to see, and after that we can discuss about this topic.
Oh yes, I'd like to read. Okay, now let me start to read. Impact of technology on kids. Many modern children have never been to the country. They don't know what a farm is, and they have never seen a cow or a pig except perhaps on television or in their school books. They have never breathed the clean, fresh air of the country, and they think that life consists of the traffic, noise, and the confusion of a large city. hand a smartphone or a tablet to a toddler, chances are they will figure out how to open it and make some in-app purchases in a matter of seconds. The the technology boom means the technological boom means that children are becoming computer experts at a very young age. However, with all this constant immersion in technology, there are some very real concerns about how this tech impact childhood development. Research shows that the average 8 to 10-year-old spends almost 8 hours a day with a variety of media, and older children and teenagers spend around 11 hours per day with media. Some negative effects of this constant dive into technology are lower attention, privacy, risk of depression, uh, obesity, bullying, and especially social interaction issues. While many people see the negative impact of this technology usage, there are also pros. The real question is what can parents and teachers do to harness technology in useful ways without letting kids become slaves to it and the negative effects it have on their lives.
Excellent, excellent reading. Congratulations. I thought you have a great accent when you pronounce the words. That's very important. That's why I use the reading to help me with my improvement. For all of you maybe who are watching us, reading, I have been told and for all my colleagues which have been practicing English with me, I have been told them that English is there's a lot of way to improve their speaking skills, but one of the ways which I have been using a lot is reading out loud. Exactly what Alice did right now here, exactly what we are doing here. So Alice, as you read, so I would like to say some talks which I really how can I say, which I'm really concerned about this thing, this topic, which is impact of technology on kids. Like I told you, I have two kids, and they are younger, they are just children. So I have been thinking about this because I notice sometimes when my son, my younger son, he play at least 2 hours a that day, play a games on his smartphone. I just before I set this time, of course, before I set just one hour a day for him. Before that, he was playing 2 3 hours, depend on the battery, depend how many times the battery allowed his play. I noticed that at that time he was a lot of stressful. He was a lot of how can I say? He has a lot of problems to obey, a lot of problems to follow the rules, to follow our leads, to follow our tasks, and that's what I think. That's what I think. I thought at that time. So I needed to do something. I thought that I had to do something. I had to change a little bit the course and the cars. So that's what I did. My wife and I we decided to set up. So we download some apps which allows to control their cell phones. So we just installed some apps on their cell phones, and my wife can manage everything that they are doing on her cell phone. So if he would like to download some new plays, some new games on his smartphone, my wife should allow this and his in her cell phone. So though doing that, after that, we can manage everything. We can manage the time. We can just block his cell phone when the time is up. It's everything very important. So just give him a second because my cell phone is still it's ringing here. Just a second.
Okay.
It was the receptionist. He told me that my tasks or my food arrives, but I didn't ask anything to it at my hotel. I don't know who asked this. I just said to him that I didn't ask anything. I didn't order anything to eat. So that's why I said to him right now. So sorry, but as I was saying, I really concerned about the technology impact of our child. But there are a lot of pros. There are a lot of good things with the technology on our kids because my children, my daughter, I just before we started this meeting, I just talked with her. I made a call. I just called her to by WhatsApp. I just called for my wife for by WhatsApp here, and I talked with my daughter. My daughter is 12 years old, like I told, and she tells me today that she was at school. She was speaking with some friends of her, and one of his friends was speaking English on their school with her, and her was able to answer, and they started to speak in English between them. So she is just 12 years old. So I'm so proud about that because I have been incentivate, I have been put her thinking about studying more English. So how she has been doing this by the internet, by YouTube, by Google. She have been using the technology and the right way. But as you said, there's a lot bad things on the internet, so that's why we must be careful in managing what our children are doing on the internet. And you, what did you think about these stores? What did you thought interesting? Have you noticed that let me see, one, two, three, the third paragraph is starting to say some things very important for us. What did you think about this?
I was a little amazed and surprised about the third part because in before I read this article, I thought that children would like to spend about 2 or 3 hours a day on the internet with the internet. But after I read this, I couldn't believe that they spend almost 8 hours a day on the internet, and I think it's quite a long time. I don't believe this, and I think if children do like this, we really should do something to stop them because this is quite unhealthy. We only have 24 hours every day, and we have to spend 8 hours on sleeping. Maybe children need more sleep. So if they spend 8 hours on their cell phones, I think they will not have any extra time to do some useful things such as studying and exercising.
Very, very smart answer. So that is a problem. That is a problem. When some parents, unfortunately, there are some parents which are not concerned about this, and they think that if they just allow their kids do it whatever they want, it will be their life. It will be easy because they don't want the child. They don't want the child's crying. They don't want the child be upset, or they don't want to be they don't want that they child or they kids started to feel anxious or started to feel very angry. But if we think deeply about that, uh, the technology can brings all these things that the parents don't want to, which like I told before, before my son, before we set some time, some specific time, just 1 hour a day with for his games, for his playing on his cell phone. And after that, we asked him to do a lot of things. We asked to help us. We asked to clean his bed. to make his bed or to clean his bedroom. We asked him to study. We asked him to just draw on paper, just to pick up some paper and some pencil and start to playing. So we have been noticing a lot of improvement on his behavior. So that's why I think it's very interesting. And right now, let me ask the questions like the last part. The last part asks you some real questions. So the real question is, what can parents and teachers do to harness or can do to harness technology in useful ways without letting kids become slave to it? So have you ever heard these words, slave? Did you know what this means? Slave to it.
Oh yes, I know this. Let me try to describe this. It is a bad word to describe people. This means for example, the opposite word of this is the master. For the maybe one people is the master of the second people, and the second people is the slave of the first people. So at this time, the first people can let the second people do everything, and the second people don't have any right and can't can't refuse any requests, no matter if this is right.
Exactly, exactly. So my question for you right now, like I told, even though you have no child, you have no kids, but you are a smart person, you are a smart woman. So you maybe yeah, and meanwhile you work with technology, you work with computers, with datas and things like that. So you have the right to answer this question. So the real question is, what can parents and teachers do to harness technology in useful ways, which means what we can do, what can I do to help my children, what can parents can do to help their children to not become slave to this technology. What can you do? What is your advice if you are asked to give an advice for your colleague, for your parents, to help their children because they are noticing that the children have become slave to technology, to games, to things like that. What do you think it would be helpful for these people?
Okay, I think for parents, there are a lot of things they can do. There are more things parents can do than teachers, because parents spend more time with their children than the teacher. And as first, I think parents should spend more time uh, being with their children. In my country, when I was young, I noticed that there are some parents who never spend time with their child, especially dads. Dads, moms are better. In my country, some man like to spend all his time on his business, and after business, he would like to spend time with all his friends, and he never spend time with his child, and he is so he is not close to to his child, and his child doesn't even want to tell him he the child's thought. So I think at this time, if the child feel lonely, the child will spend more time with the cell phones. Because in my country, situations are more different, and there is a unique situation because in my generation, nearly all the children are the only child of their family. So if their parents don't be company with this child, uh, they even don't have siblings to play with. They will feel quite lonely, and they can only spend time with their cell phones. So I think if parents can spend a lot of time uh, with their children, the children will not play with the cell phone that much time, because parents can tell stories to their children, and listen to their children talking about what happened in the school. And besides, parents can take the children out to do some sports together, to go to the amusement park, uh, or go to the zoo. I think these things are more interesting than the than playing the cell phone. I think if parents want to do this, their children will be very happy to follow them, and this time children will forget about their cell phones. Mm,
Amazing. Amazing answer. And I think the same because I used it to do some months ago. I was unemployed. So at that time, I had a lot free time to spend with my children. So I use it that time. I use a lot this time. I spend more time with my son because my son is a little, it's, how can I say, it's younger than my daughter. My daughter is not very interesting and spend time with me because she is more, how can I say, she's a teenager right now. She started 12 years old, and it's very he has a different behavior, but she's very she is lovely. I like it so much. My daughter too, she like me, but in his her own way, how can I say. But my son is as he is a little younger, he liked to play. He liked to spend time with me. Just for when I was at home at that time, I used it to pick up him, and just walking around my city. I use it to buy food. I use it to walk and to go to the park to walk with him. And it was sometimes we just walking. We just made some hiking for about 3 or 4 kilometers, and he is just a younger guy, so he liked to walk. He liked so much to spend time with me. We went to the park. We played some games on the playgrounds at the park, and it was amazing times. And how do I know that he liked it? I spend time with me at that time. I know that because some days ago, at least 2 or 3 days ago, he said to me the follow question. He asked me which means he said to me the following phrase. He said, I'm missing the time that we were going to the park. We were hiking every day. I'm missing that time. I miss that time, Dad. So I really would like to repeat these steps with you. So he said these statements to me. He said this phrase to me. So I felt so happy because that time which I spent with him made a lot of difference in his behavior and his life, and at the same time made a lot of improvement on my own behavior because I get more approached. I got more approached of him, and that was amazing. So that's why I believe that technology is very important for the good way, but we must to set a time. We must to do the right. We must use on the right ways. That's what I think.
Oh yes, and I think that's so great because your son likes to spend time with you, and I think when you are hiking with each other, both of you can't use the cell phone because no one can using the cell phone and playing the computer game while walking. So I think that must be a good method for you to stop him from addicting from the cell phone. You can just spend time with him, and he really enjoys that. Then he will forget his cell phone. It's a very lovely story.
Yeah. I think the same. And but like I told you, and the second part which I would like to share here is as I told you some minutes ago, my daughter have been. I started to tell her. I started to tell her to start study English. I said to her that she should start study English as younger as possible because just pick up my own example. I started to study English with 27 years old. I started to study English. 27, 28 when I started study English, and I know that it's not there's no later time, there's no past time to study. Every time is the right way, there's the right time to study English. But I told her to start studying English, and today, as I told you, she tells me that she had been trying to say some phrases. She started to communicate with some friends of her other schools, and I told her some minutes before we started this class, I told her, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because it's very important to see that my own example gave you the courage, gave you the right direction to study English, and you have been proven. Because if you were able to communicate yourself with your friends today, that means that you have been progress. You have been doing some progress with your English." So I told her that I'm so proud of her, and she liked it so much when I said it for her because it's very good when we are making progress and someone have been comes and how can I say, it's not compliment when someone comes and just give you an feedback, a positive feedback. So that's very important, and I believe it was important for her, and it is important, so much important to me because everything starts because our example. She watched our videos here on my YouTube channel, and she said, "Oh, I'd like to speak English like my father. I don't know how can I do it." She started thinking about that, and right now she have been improved a lot. She already has a lot of vocabulary, and she is just 12 years old yet. So if she stay on this course, on this path, maybe and 15 years old she will be fluent if she keeps on these steps. And that's makes me so proud. That makes more motivated to study English and to improve English to help her. And let me ask another question here. You told me that your husband is not fluent in English. And have you ever asked him to study English, or he would like to learn? Have you ever heard any things about this from him? What do you think about your husband learn English? What do you think about that?
Uh, these days, he has been learning English. Uh, Actually, I think before this year, he was at a good English level. He could read a lot of English articles because he needed to do that in his work. But he could only read. His speaking skill was not good at that time because he hardly ever spoke English. And but in the past few weeks, we have been talking with each other in English every day. Uh, and I think he has made great improvement. Because I have been trying to let him join our WhatsApp group, but he was quite busy with his work. He was more busy than me. Because he is 3 years older than me, and he is in a senior level of his company, and I am only the junior level. So he has a lot of things to do, and he is the mentor of some junior level engineers. So he told me that he couldn't join us regularly. So so that's why I didn't invite him to our WhatsApp group. But when he was free, he was trying to talk with me in English, and now I think his English skill uh, was was good, not perfect, because he could express all his thoughts in English, although not quite fluent, with a lot of stop, with a lot of I think, but I think he could express himself very well. And he also helps me a lot because when I am not practicing with you, sometimes I can speak English to him, and he can understand all the thing I speak.
Nice, nice. That's very nice. And I got you. I know how busy maybe he is right now because as you told, he has a lot of things to do. He is at a senior level, so that's very difficult. I know sometimes it's the same to me. And but maybe in the future, feel free to invite him. Don't worry, no problem if he could not join us every weekend. The most important thing is to help him and to help you and to improve our English. That's the key to everyone who would like to join us. Okay, that's very important. But it's very nice to know that he has been improving his English, and maybe like you told, he worked as an engineer like you. It's almost the same profession like you have. It's the same, or I don't remember, but I believe it's something similar
Yes,
with you.
it's the same.
Ah, nice, nice. So thank you for this answer. So that's it, Alice. We talked about technology, and today we express our thoughts about this topic, which is very it's a delicate topic. It's very difficult to say something because there's a lot of parents from all over the world who believe that technology is the solution for his kids to they be quiet, because sometimes the parents just want the kids be quiet and because they are so tired after job, they just would like to be in a silent place, and sometimes the kids just would like to spend time with them, but they don't want it, so they just give their electronic device for them and say, go play with your cell phone, I don't want to talk with you right now. But that's the real concern that we have been facing and the actual and the current days. And I have been trying to spend more time with my kids, and I have been trying to be more present with them, to be more to express myself with them. That's what I have been trying to do for my own kids. I know everyone do whatever they want, so I hope one day we can see the improvement on our kids, because I have been concerned. I have been so concerned with our future because the new generation of people have been taking their place, and I don't know how it will be in the future, how it will be the culture will change, and the things will change, and I don't know how it will be in 10 years and 5 or 10 years, maybe things it will be all different. And I hope to better, not to worse. I don't know. And let me, to finish this English meeting here, let me ask you some questions about, let me see what I was looking for here. As we talked about technology, and I have been doing some, let's see here, let's see, where is it? I know if this is a funny story. Maybe the next meeting we can talk about this. It's a funny story related to, I believe it's, let me see, it's Chinese related to your country. It's a funny story because
Okay.
there were two girls on this story, which was eating in a Chinese restaurant at the time, and one of these girls unfortunately thought very interesting the way that Chinese people writing things, how you writing. For instance, your name as is written here, your name, it's very we thought here in Brazil and people from all over the world, think that the way the way Chinese people write, it's very beautiful. They like the way the letters seems to be on Chinese. And Cantonese and Mandarin, I don't know exactly how is it called the way you write, but we have been thinking very beautiful way to write. So, but even if we don't know what is it, we don't understand Chinese people write, but people that person thought it was very interesting, and she decided to write this on her sweater. And she doesn't know what it means at the time, and she just wrote on his sweater, and everything started to be fun after that. So that's maybe we can talk about this on the next meeting. And to finish here, I'd like to say for all people who are watching us, if you would like to be here with us, if you would like to practice your speaking skills to develop your English with us, just comment below on this video and just let me know who you are, where you live, and why are you studying English. That's the key to be here with us, to practice English with us. And it will be free. There's no tax, there's no fees to pay, and just come here and practice English with Alice and with friends that we have been spent time learning together. We are just learning English. We are not teachers. We are just people, normal people trying to develop our own skills. Right now, Alice, thank you for your time. I don't know what time is it exactly there. It's 9 p.m. It's 9 a.m. right now.
Oh yes, almost
Really?
9 p.m. Yes, 8:56 a.m.
Yeah, it's 9 here is 9:56 p.m. It's just it's 13 hours difference from China. And but thank you so much for being here to practice, to accept this invite to be here. To be honest, you have invited me to practice with you, so thank you for inviting me. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And let me know, would like to say anything before we finish this meeting. What did you think about your English? Are you free? How can I say? Are you comfort with your English level? How have you been feeling about your improvement? Do you think what do you like to do more here? That just feel free to say anything that you want.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you for Alex. I really appreciate you practicing with me, and this really helps me a lot. And this week, I met Jehado at about I don't know, I don't remember exactly, maybe on Monday, and he told me that he also appreciated you because at the first time he started to practice with you, he was not confident with his English level, and he couldn't speak um a very complex sentence in English. But now he could speak English with people from all around the world. He was confident with himself, so he really appreciated you practicing with him. So am I. I am the same opinion with Jehado, and I think uh, Jehado and I has been improving our English skill a lot because of practicing with you. Maybe you have improved yourself a lot, but in my opinion, the first time I met you, you are in a very high level English. So I don't know if you have improved because people can only notice the improvement of the people who has a lower level. So maybe you have already improved a lot, but we really appreciate you uh, having this WhatsApp group and practicing with us.
Oh, you make me speechless right now. You made me speechless. I don't know what to say about that. And I just imagine that just there's one thing which I must say right now is thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They are yours words and Gerardo's words too. We missing him. I just sent a message to him before we started here, but I believe he is sleeping. I don't know what time is it on Bangladesh right now. Maybe he is sleeping right now. So if he watched our video, so hello Gerardo, we are waiting for you to practice English with us here as soon as possible. And thank you so much, Alice. I don't believe that, like I told you, when we are helping others, we are helping ourselves at the same time. So if I help you even 1%, I learned this 1% too. So English, it's like we have been talking, have been speaking here a lot time. English takes time, so it's not easy. It's quite difficult, but it's totally possible. We just needed some friends like you. We just needed some friends like Gerardo to help each other, to motivate each other, and everything to be good, everything to be easier than it was before we are just alone to study English. So that's the key. That's the key. Friendship, make friendship from all over the world. I'm so proud to have your friend, to have a friendship with you, from people from China. I never thought before I will know someone from China. So I'm so proud. I really so appreciate about your friendship. And Gerardo is the same. I always talk with some friends, some colleagues at my job that I have some friends from China, from Bangladesh. I have been telling them from my friends here, from all my friends here, that I have you with some partners to practice my English. So thank you so much, you. And I hope to see you in the next time. Maybe tomorrow at the same time if you are free. I don't know. If you have a free time, just ask me on the WhatsApp. And after 9 p.m., we can practice together again. I believe that at that time I have to be I have to be at home again. My flights, it will be 4:30 p.m. Tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. And I believe my flight it will take 1 hour until my own seat, my host city. Maybe at 7 p.m. I have to be at home. I will be at home at that time. So thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you in our next chance, in our next step here. Okay, I will just stop the recording right now. Just give him a second here. So for the other ones which you are watching now, thank you for being here and up to very end, and I hope to see you too in the next English sessions here on my YouTube channel. Bye. Just